So I had this idea. I've been watching some other YouTubers doing a like a daily vlog type thing. Today I played. I know a couple of guys from yours guys do it, and I've seen some other people doing kind of similar types of things. But naturally, today I played is a bit ambitious for me. So I thought, I wanted to do something like it, but maybe this week I played. So every Sunday I'm going to try and put out a video. This week I played, and I want to kind of force myself to play things that I wouldn't normally play, like experience things I wouldn't normally experience. Because that's how I came into playing XCOM for the first time, which is now one of my favorite games of all time. So I kind of get stuck in these cycles of, playing the same types of games and like, oh, does it fit the specific criteria? Should I play it or not? So I've got like tons of games sitting in my library, waiting to be played. So I figured this is a great opportunity to kind of like play those games, have a talk about it, recommend them maybe, not recommend them maybe, I don't know. Now, seeing as this is the first episode of This Week I Played, I was thinking, what do I want to do? Now, obviously I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76, but didn't really want to carry on talking about that, because I've done a video on it, I've talked about it a lot on the live streams and the video and stuff like that as well, because I did a Let's Play, and also I did a My Thoughts video on that, so maybe we kind of like skipped that one. Maybe we'll talk about it next week when I played it a little bit more, I'm not sure, but this week I want to talk about a game called Agony Unrated.
Last thing I remember. Memories tear apart my soul.
So Agony Unrated seems like a second release of the first game, Agony, which I'm not too sure about the entire history of this game, but I know that I think PewDiePie played it, like a tech demo back in the day, and then he played it again, which I assume was another tech demo, but apparently that was a full release. Which is kind of why there's this whole re-release, because apparently the first one was not very good. I think it sat on like a Steam score of about 40%. Not great at all. The developer seemed quite apologetic about it. That's why he's sending out this key. Apparently everyone who bought the original gets this one for free, although I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work on consoles. But for the most part, it seems like they're trying to fix a lot of the issues from the first game. I didn't play the first game, so unfortunately I don't have that experience, but I did get to play this one. Now, when they sent me the key, there was this big paragraph, like, we're sorry, our previous game was so crap. We promise we made more of an effort on this one. But again, it's difficult to kind of see whether or not that statement is true, because I didn't play the first one. And I'm not going to buy the first one in order to kind of just test whether or not they've made that many changes. I don't know, that just seems silly to me. So one of the big hang-ups that people had was they didn't like the idea that it was censored, which... For me, I don't really see that as a problem. I'm not a fan of having shriveled up old penises in my face. Just, I don't know. I guess some people think it's like adds to the authenticity of, being in hell and stuff like that. But I guess some people find it important, other people don't, and I guess that was never really a concern for me, so I don't know, I feel like I'm not missing that part of it. So from what I can tell, you get dropped into hell, presumably you died, right, because that's normally how these things happen, and then you're wandering around, you meet a couple of people who seem to know you, I think you're a bad guy, maybe you sacrificed some people, did some bad things, you seem to be on someone's good side because you get to resurrect yourself, whatever that means. But for the most part, the game doesn't seem to really have that much direction, to be honest. You're just kind of plopped in this world, and you're expected to kind of figure out how you're going. And they have this really annoying mechanic in the game, as it has the line, the directional line. You press a button, a line appears telling you exactly where to go. Now, just having a line pointing you in the direction you need to walk, it doesn't seem like it's very well thought out. The game does seem quite open. There's a lot of avenues you can take. I did, found myself getting lost constantly. I don't know whether or not this is like an intended mechanic for you to get lost. Maybe it is. I don't know. But personally, as a game, I felt that it lacked direction, and I don't like just following a line, going exactly where you need to be told. More subtle, like hinting and nudging to where you need to go. It's not that difficult to kind of set up, is it? I don't know, the game just seemed like it looked good, obviously. As a technical standpoint, you have these little skeletal statues set up that you can kick over and they break apart into individual little bones and stuff like that. The scenery looks interesting. The animations, the particle effects, they're all nice. They look nice. I must admit, they looked nicer before. I guess technology's kind of caught up with it a little bit, maybe. I don't know. But it's still, from a technical standpoint, it still looks great. But from a game standpoint, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's very fun to play, It just seems like you're walking through this thing, experiencing what they're intending you to experience. And I feel like it's kind of difficult to really describe it, to be honest with you. The only way I can kind of say it is, doesn't make a very fun game, looks interesting, where do we go from there, you know? I mean, at one point they had me picking up little babies and grinding them up in like a grindstone. I had no idea why I was doing it. It was just I could, and I was just thinking to myself, why am I doing this? Why, like, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. I'm just picking up babies and putting them in a grindstone. They were demon babies, obviously. They had like vaginas for heads, or one of them, I don't know. They were just they were strange. I don't know. It just seems really strange. And all, like the statues as well. I noticed that they would just kind of copy and paste assets from the models. I played it for about an hour, and I felt like I didn't get anywhere. You know, I was just kind of wandering around. I spoke to a couple of people. I was just ripping people's hearts out. It didn't exactly explain to me why I was ripping people's hearts out or what I was doing. Apparently you have like 3 lives every save point, so I think there's an element of if you fuck up too many times, you have to start the game from scratch, which not a huge fan of. Not that I saw that, so that might not be the case, but I don't know. That's the impression it gave. So again, even though it gave that impression, it was still kind of off-putting. It's worth saying, though, that a lot of people are looking at the game. I'm just looking at the review page now. So it's on mostly positive at the minute. 76%, so that's probably the low end of mostly positive. What is it, 75 to, like, probably 80 or something? Also, I don't know. I don't know the the stat ranges on Steam. But it's weird, okay? It's weird. If you want to experience something that's just a little bit outside the norm, I guess, and you're kind of into your whole hellish landscapes and torture and stuff like that, because I know some people like that type of thing, you know? I mean, they like to experience worlds that are completely alien and separate from our own, which is like very, very little there to relate to at all. And if that's the case, then check it out. I think the unrated version, I'm looking at it now, it's only £11, yeah? And I think that's a lot cheaper than the original game. So, I mean, if you're going to put some money on it, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that big waste of money anyway, you know? So even if you get out a couple of hours out of it, you know, I mean, like, that's still pretty good value for money. What I tend to do is I tend to try and, how much, like, trying to, like, offset things or, like, kind of compare things. How much would you spend on a movie and how many hours would you get of enjoyment out of that? And then you compare that to a video game, for instance. Like, okay, so this movie costs £10 to buy. This video game costs £10 to buy. You know, I get 2 hours worth out of this movie. I get 20 hours out of this game. You know, that's good value. You know, that's good value. As long as you're enjoying it and you're not just playing it to try and get value out of it. So if that's the case, then maybe even if you just play it for a couple of hours, you enjoy it, it's probably good value, you know? But check it out. Link in the description. And yeah, I mean, that's this week I played, I guess. I'll try and play something brand new for next week. I got some games that I got from my daughter. She's 4, which I'll be interested in kind of playing with her, seeing what she thinks about it as well. That might be quite interesting. Anyway, yeah, I hope you don't mind that kind of like weird change of format. I want to try something new when I get in front of the camera. Anyway, catch you next time, guys. Ciao.